What's up, guys? CNC Podcast back again for our next episode. As always, me, Thomas,
sick episode.
Luke, yes, and Isaiah, right. And also, as always, our information is hopefully reliable, and our opinions may or may not be right. So let's get into it.
I disagree.
When do we start giving disclaimers?
I just think it's a good disclaimer.
That's fair. No, should we put a real disclaimer that's like, hey, by the way, we might not know what we're talking about?
No, listen.
No, because we know generally.
Put that for Luke.
We just might not be exactly right.
What if we get sued for slander?
No, listen. Luke.
As long as we don't say something really terrible.
Like, okay.
Put there for Luke and Thomas, because I believe my opinions are correct.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, no, I thoroughly believe
all people should believe their opinions are correct.
Oh, no, I thoroughly believe if it comes out of my mouth, I'm not wrong. Now, I can realize at a later time I'm wrong, but at the immediate time...
I disagree.
That's true. I agree with that.
At the immediate time...
When I say it, I believe it.
Unless it's something really stupid
Unless I'm mad.
Wow.
Unless I'm really mad, then I say stuff that's sometimes you say something
false.
Oh, yeah, all the time. All the time.
Because it's just like, you just said it. Sometimes I get in a conversation, I get mad at someone else, say stuff and be like, can you believe what you said to me? Bro, I don't even remember. I could not tell you. What would we argue about?
Thomas was wasted one time, and he...
it was after doing drugs at UNC. That's what it was, yeah. All right, let's... so, first little fun little topic. If you have a cargo carrier and an aircraft carrier...
They can't fit in your hands.
They might fit in Thomas's.
Yeah, maybe. They probably slip out.
And they are going at each other at the same rate of speed. No other outside factors. 100 miles per hour. Boom.
So they can't go.
Who wins? I say nobody. Nobody wins in that situation. That's a lose-lose.
I get that.
I think the aircraft carrier is going to steamroll.
No, you think so?
Look how thick their holes are.
This is only 1/3 boat.
No,
that's why it looks so like it looks huge, but it's 1/3 boat.
But look up, but I want you to look up how thick the hole is.
The rest of it is just cargo.
Look up how thick the hole is.
No.
That makes a difference.
I don't feel like doing that right now. That's so
I think it's just like the cargo carrier. I think the cargo carrier, it seems heavier to me. I'm going to go with weight. So,
weight and density are big factors. What if it's not strong in metal?
It can't be weight. Well, it depends. If we're talking about top of the grade carrier for both, I don't know.
Okay. Of CNC steel. That's interesting.
What? That's crazy.
It's called CNC steel?
It's called CNC steel.
For an aircraft carrier.
We should be sponsored. We should be sponsored by aircraft carriers.
CNC Steel, hit us up. U.S. government, hit us up.
What if they just sent us steel? I won't
associate myself with the government.
What if they just sent us like bars of steel?
Yeah, I mean, they make
worth a lot. No, steel's worth a good bit. I would take some steel.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, but final answers. I think nobody wins in that situation.
No, aircraft carrier wins.
An aircraft carrier. I just want to say it's just gonna steamroll because I think it'll just go over it. I'm not kidding.
No, I'm
serious.
I think
I'm not kidding.
All the planes and stuff on deck are getting destroyed.
Yeah, they're gonna fall
because the crates are gonna come over and actually the crates might wipe out.
I'm saying. I think that it's just gonna be like a.
Okay, here's how I look at it. I think the aircraft carriers come at the battleship. The battleship has all these. The cargo carrier.
This is such an 11-year-old boy conversation.
Okay, but listen, that's beside the point.
Thomas, you don't like it, you can leave.
Give me your phone, Thomas. Give me your phone.
No,
it's for the demonstration.
You'll lock it out like you did that one.
I'm not gonna lock the phone out.
Use an imaginary phone. Use the 2 cards in your wallet.
I don't.
Because I don't trust you with my cellular
device.
Okay,
so I can't see that.
Just use your hands. That was working pretty well. Just do that.
Okay, This is the cargo carrier. This is the aircraft carrier. They're going to hit. Okay, this is stronger. Okay, so it's going to dent this. But then all the crates are going to come over top, crush all the planes. And you know how aircraft carriers have that little thing that sticks off where they control the boat?
Yeah.
The crates are going to knock that off. Think about how they're going to dent it at first. But think about the thousands of them that have weight. Those things carry cars. Okay, so as they hit those,
or
all
other
that
things,
all that weight,
or CIA
and
black sites.
It just starts denting that.
There's probably people in a couple of them, which is not a good thing.
Now, see, true. The cargo carrier is going to be, it's just going to be sitting there, can't do anything. Okay, it's probably going to sink. Now, the aircraft carrier, I think, is going to still be afloat, but the way to control it's going to be completely knocked off, so it'll be stranded.
Well, this has been a fun conversation, but speaking of crashing and burning, let's talk about how Trump got impeached for a second time. How do you get impeached twice?
You beat Donald Trump. That's all.
I'm just like...
You be controversial.
I mean, I mean,
we say stuff all the time.
I was thinking about
questionable stuff.
You can be. Thomas, people can be impeached. I bet if presidents said all the time what they wanted to, they'd be impeached all the time.
That's true. Donald Trump's just the only president that
he's just actually said it.
That doesn't listen to the team that's like, dude, don't listen.
But I'm trying to figure out what kind of a team has he put around himself, though. Is like, does he put a team of yes men?
I think everybody
he does have too many friends and family. Like,
true.
Like, too many friends and family.
It's yes men. Home to yes men.
Right. It's just a bunch
or
of
people who
like,
give him terrible information.
You're like, man, he's rich.
Like, there's some people. I think he needs a historian because sometimes there's stuff where it's like,
no.
He said this thing, like this phrase, which sounded fine. It was like something like "put America first." That was something like Andrew Jackson said, and Andrew Jackson kind of committed genocide. So it's one of those things, especially now. That's one of those things you can't get away with now. So you can't get away with saying that. You need a whole historian on your team. Just be like, no. Let me tell you what that's related to.
That's a lot harder to get
away with
stuff like that.
Yeah, but. So regarding the impeachment, so he did get him. Like he's going. Like what is it? Like tomorrow's the inauguration or something?
I don't know. I haven't kept up with it.
Let me check. I thought it was. We're filming this on Saturday.
Today's
by the way, the 16th.
Yeah, I think it's the 17th.
It's my bad. It's the 20th. It's on Wednesday. So it's in a few days. He was impeached like 2-3 days ago. Was it really worth it? Is my question. Was this a good decision? Or bad decision by Congress this late in the game?
It's not like, what are you going to do, kick him out of office? Oh no, he had 2 days left?
And they knew that Mitch McConnell, well actually originally Mitch McConnell said that there was not going to be a trial in the Senate.
I don't know, man.
If we're being honest, I think that Joe Biden won, and after that, most media companies and just people in positions of power were like, "You're gonna be out of here," and they just started disrespecting him. I don't really care, but I'm just saying, I think that's what happened.
Yeah, I agree.
And they already disrespected him.
Exactly. They know that he's not going to be the one in power anymore, so they're not scared.
Twitter
treat him
Twitter banned him.
Worse.
Yeah.
He's
been banned by everything but MySpace, basically.
That's just because MySpace, I don't think
MySpace was called out years ago, wasn't it?
Exactly. So, and I mean,
I would just if I was him, I would just make another account.
I think I did hear that I don't know if that's true or not. I heard that he logged into the actual POTUS Twitter.
MySpace is still a thing?
That's what I'm saying. MySpace still exists.
Is it really? Oh, I thought it was gone.
I think
you can't get it on your phone.
They probably did.
There's
MySpace exclusives.
There's not an app.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's fair.
Let's not worry about MySpace. They're still relevant. It doesn't matter. Exactly. No one cares.
Okay, 2021, MySpace comes back.
I'd be
bold, hot, unrealistic take by Isaiah.
I feel like I missed that era, and I'm kind of upset about it. I wish I lived through the MySpace.
Is that it?
Just because there's like the... Dude, yeah, that's MySpace.
I thought they were just 5 stars.
You can get the...
What? 10 out of 5?
You can get the dinosaur game.
Did you say 10 out of 5 stars?
Did you say 10 out of 5 stars?
2 out of 5.
Oh, okay.
That makes my...
You can get the...
I'm trying to get my... You finish.
I was just going to say, like, that's cool. You can get the dinosaur game from Google, like, when you don't have internet.
4.5 out of 5 stars. I just downloaded it.
Okay.
But
no one cares about MySpace.
I didn't know... Like 3 years ago, MySpace was not on the App Store. I looked for it.
Right.
Fair enough.
Okay, but
I'm sure it wasn't, and you didn't just scroll past it or anything.
Well, maybe, but
very possible.
My memory does not reflect that.
Trump-alicious, bro. Trump-alicious.
That's the anti-word of the day. But so this close to the inauguration, here's my problem. So impeachment is a serious process, right?
Okay.
Now I'm not saying that there shouldn't have been impeachment hearings because I think with they need to investigate did Trump incite these people? Is there enough causation in him irresponsibly using the power of his office and his words with people who listen to him to have that kind of a reaction to what he's saying? That's why Twitter and Facebook and honestly there was a bunch of other websites like Spotify and Pinterest. Like can you just not listen to music or look at your design ideas now?
Just make another account.
I mean, yeah, it's like he could just make Donald Trump or something and switch the letters around. Anyways,
job.
So
that was a great one.
I thought that was a pretty original name. Yeah, it
was good.
The profile pic just put a little mustache on him. They won't notice. But so really, at this point, this close to the election, was it worth it? I think it creates a bad standard for impeachment because I think impeachment needs to be a thorough process where all the evidence is taken into account and different arguments are given, not just made. And also big decisions. Obviously, everyone was emotional on both sides because this was a national travesty, terrible. Those people who assaulted the building are not true patriots. They might be American citizens, but I think they're idiots for doing that. I think it's treason. We can all agree with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think you make. It's just like when your parents tell you, "You're upset. Do you really want to make that decision right now?" It's kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need to take a step back, calm down. That's why these impeachment things go on for a while. It's not a quick process.
Yeah.
So I think this sets a bad standard for impeachment going forward.
Yeah,
this is a completely new precedent, especially when he's going out of office. It's just a political statement because they know that most likely in the Senate nothing's going to happen. Probably not even a trial.
Like I said earlier, I think on some level it's a personal statement. Like they're doing it for their own because they just enjoy that.
Yeah,
I think a lot of
are you saying like some Democrats or something? Like there were some
a lot of people that were pushing for
people.
his impeachment. Obviously, like those people, I'm saying a lot of them have malicious reasons to do that, not just for the justice system, but for themselves. They want to see
because they don't like Trump.
Yeah.
Which if you don't like Trump, that's completely understandable. He's obviously not a very nice guy, and he's done a lot of stuff. The documentary on Netflix, I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's like a 4-part thing I watched a while back. He's like, bro, he just cheats and lies to his wives. Like, it's pretty foul. But like, he's obviously not the best person morally. But I don't think you have to keep that out.
Yes, I agree. That like politics and what you personally want.
Yeah,
you have to think about it.
And you can't think about the past couple of years.
You have to be responsible when you're thinking about it. It can't be because you want it. It needs to be. You have to think about it logically.
Right, and I don't know. I think with the impeachment, I think you take some of his past behavior into account, maybe in the back of your head. But I don't. I think you have to weigh the merits of that particular charge, which was it was something along the lines of incitement to violence. Or something along those lines. Incitement or something.
It says inciting insurrection.
Yeah, inciting. I know something has to start with an I. But so that's why you have to weigh exactly what did he say about this event and about these things, and can you hold him responsible?
If they would have began the impeachment process before the inauguration, could they continue it?
Yeah, but there wasn't really a charge to be brought up. It was just like, we don't like Trump, and he says some stuff we think is ill-spoken.
Yeah.
So there wasn't anything he had done wrong at the time to
Will you repeat what you just said? We don't like Trump, and he said ill-spoken things.
Well, that's what I meant. Ill-spoken things. Like
if that's how we impeach people,
then goodness, I mean,
everybody's going down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's nothing we could. There was nothing. It'd be different if there was some impeachment trial that had been going on for a month or two, maybe.
Yeah.
Or a few months, and they just now got to the end of that decision. That's different.
Well, so when does Trump actually go out of office?
As soon as Biden's sworn in on the 20th.
So he's how does the packing situation go? Did he just pack all his clothes up?
I'm sure they have people in the White House do it for them, like they do everything else.
Where's he gonna live now? It's tough for him.
I mean, poor guys just out here on the street. I'll go to Mar-a-Lago down in Florida and live it up. Have a good time.
I'm excited to see America post-Trump, just because I feel like the past 4 years have been very prominent, and just
this has
my
been
experience,
a dramatic piece of American history because I think it's changed the Actually, here's what I think. I think America and conservatives would have been better off, because this is completely apart from policy and from anything specifically he's done as president, as far as in enacting laws or what he has done. I'm talking about political and social cultural impact. I think it was bad for Americans, and I think it was bad for the conservative side of the aisle. And here's why. If Hillary gets elected, it's okay, a Democrat won. It would have been close because no one liked Hillary. And she only lost the popular vote by about 2 million, which isn't a lot. Mm-hmm. Trump, since then, and since he's been running, and a lot of this is to blame for the media.
Wait. Hillary lost the popular vote?
No, I'm sorry. She won the I'm sorry. She lost overall, but won the popular by just 2 million. My bad. I misspoke. But think about it. And a lot of this is due to the media, too, because how they like to stir things up and be very biased. And I'm talking about Fox, CNN, and whoever.
Yeah.
do you not think that people are more? I think you talked about a little this earlier. We were just talking about stuff in general before the podcast. People are more picking. It's a side issue now, not just I'm a member of a party and I think these things, or I am from this place and I think these things. It's now there's so much tension in America because of the media, because of how Trump has escalated things with his rhetoric, because of how people have approached him when in responding to his rhetoric, and how people have been handling things. I think that, and I'm not saying it's all his fault, but the fact that he was put into office and continued to have that voice, along with all the other outside factors, has been worse for America in general because of where we're at. And also for the conservatives and Republican Party. I mean, I think, especially after the Capitol building, it's cast a really negative light on them. It's one of those things where you can't generalize all of them, but it doesn't really matter because we know that not everybody is going to be like, oh, well, that's a generalization. They're going to be like, well, that looks terrible and blah, blah, blah. Like, it is a terrible image for people on that side of the aisle or who vote more right-leaning. So, if I'm a Republican, then I kind of wish that we just waited another 4 years to have another whack at it.
Here's an unrelated question that
I'm looking forward to that getting off
president. Does Biden survive all 4 years?
Now that's a real good topic.
Are we allowed to talk about are we allowed to say things like that?
We're not going to say we're going to kill him, man.
I'm not talking about assassination.
Okay, cool.
I'm talking about health-wise.
Well, I was just saying
because the way he.
Okay,
I think they're grooming Kamala to take over.
I've heard that.
I see that.
I've heard that.
I feel like
a lot of
that he won't be able to function completely through 4 years. That he was just more like the face of it. That Kamala might step in and actually do more than Biden does.
Yeah, it's just because if it were Kamala Harris, she wouldn't have won. If it were Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump,
America is not ready, just demographically speaking, to have not minority president, but a woman minority president. I don't think she would have got the votes. It's kind of like how I don't think Pete Buttigieg would have won because he's gay. Not because it's wrong to have a gay president, but I just don't think people would have came out and voted.
You're right. There's still so much stigma
right.
Against
I just
that.
don't think
so. You're right.
I don't think as many people would have came out and voted.
This
Democrat.
was the largest of millennial voting, though.
Which is I'm happy
of
about
the
that.
younger generation of voters, the most people that turned out. I think
a century. Black voting was up a lot too.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, if a lot of the younger generation were voting, maybe Kamala Harris would have.
That's true because most of them don't really care. They're just basing off which candidate they like.
Imagine this. I was intrigued by this. Imagine if Ben Carson had won instead of Donald Trump. That 1 year, Ben Carson was
he was like a. Okay. You know the guy who separated the Siamese twins? He's the head of housing and urban development.
If we had somebody with intelligence level like that at president, I think it'd be interesting to see what he does.
I think we need more smart people in office who aren't just career politicians or they're just famous. Not that we have just a lot of famous people in office.
What category does Obama fall into? Because he was a smart individual, but very political. You know what I mean?
I would like to see people, because ideally I think you're not supposed to have career politicians. I think you're supposed to have people who serve in their capacity. Let's say for their career, it's like 20 years. It's not like 30, 40, 50. They might go local, representative, Senate president or something like that, and then they get out. They serve in their functions for limited periods of time. They're not 40-year senators, 20-year representatives, and then they become president when they're older.
Biden.
I think you should serve as a political office, not as that's like a career goal necessarily. It is a career goal,
kind of like how Trump served a couple of years. Now he's gone.
Presidents have term limits. But let's say
you step in, Biden. He was a senator, right?
Right.
What was he?
He was a senator. Yeah, for a
vice
long
president.
time.
Now he's going to be the president.
Right.
I think about that.
I think he's been in public office too long. Mm-hmm. I think you need to have new people coming in representing the areas you're from. And it's like a public service thing.
I think
more than it is a personal job that makes you
senators and representatives should not be able to serve term after term after term.
That's what I'm saying.
I think they should rotate in and out.
I don't know about rotate, but I would like to see a limit. I think senators maybe two. I think 2 terms. Maybe 12 years. 3 maybe. I could see 3, but then let's say representatives. I would, especially representatives, because it represents a smaller area. I want there to be fresh blood, so it makes sure that they haven't just got caught in a cycle of this is the guy who has all the clout in our area.
1 or 2 terms, because they're only 2 years.
No, absolutely. Well, I want them to be able to serve a significant period of time, just not too long. I would say like 8 to 12 years. I think it's fair for a representative, roughly the same amount as a president or a senator.
Because I think you have the same people. It doesn't really.
Right, you want people. Especially representatives, I want people who, I don't always just want a bunch of old people. I like how that we're seeing more and more younger people getting in office. I think we've seen some trends of some younger people. Like, I'm not personally a big fan of AOC, because I don't think she knows anything about the economy, but I like that we have a young, energetic person in office who says what she believes. I like that aspect of what we're seeing in Congress.
I think it's good to have, I think it's good to have different age groups of people.
Different experience. I'm not saying we need all just a bunch of young people or no old people. I'm just saying more of a variety.
This come into play. The old people that are still in office be like, oh, I've been around longer. I know what I'm talking about.
I think these people, for the most part, that's not going to be. I'm not saying it hasn't been an issue before, but I'm saying these people know that you can't do that because everybody has a vote in that Congress.
Yeah.
And so. Yeah. Oh, one more thing about Trump before we move on to our next topic. Should he have been censored by all those companies, which are private companies?
It's a buggy question.
Companies, right?
Because it is like it's the private company and they can do that.
No. Legally, I believe in every right for a private company to do that.
But also, it's scary because that's the president of the United States, and every company on Earth. Every company in America basically just showed that
there was 10 or 12 major companies.
If they wanted to, they could just make him silent, or essentially silent. He has to go on the news now, I guess, to talk. Like he can't just tweet off his phone or whatever.
Which is kind of scary of him to start with.
Here's something. He's rich. He makes his own social media network and news company and takes those down.
I mean, yeah, but would he do that at this point?
And it's called the free market. He do what he wants to. Okay.
Yeah, but then they're all going to be like, screw Trump, and they're going to gang
up on him. What was this app that Apple just destroyed? Do you know what I'm talking about? I don't know. You know what I'm talking about? Like, have you heard anything about this? I don't remember what it's called.
Wait, I have something about Trump though. I don't know.
So they have the right to do something, but one of my personal favorite sayings: just because you have the right to do something doesn't mean you are right to do something.
I think it was more of a political stand for those companies. That more like they're gonna make more money.
I think 1 or 2 did, and then everybody else was like, "Oh, we need to too." I think. Why did Spotify need to sponsor them? You can't listen to our streamed playlist.
I think they did it for money.
You think so?
I think it looks better on them overall from the country.
Oh yeah, it was a great PR move, probably.
I think it was more of a PR move than we hate Trump. I think it was more of a PR move.
Yeah. Now I think some of those people in those companies obviously probably do hate Trump. A lot of people hate Trump, but
it's probably a PR move.
No, it's absolutely a PR move. Because think about if you're that one major company similar to those who doesn't, you're going to get a lot of backlash.
Anyways, it's called the Parler app, and essentially, you heard about?
I saw some kind of headline with Parler, but I didn't really. It
was like,
so what happened?
I think Apple has taken off the App Store, but I'm pretty sure it's been taken off like every app store, and it's just because there were accusations that the conservatives that like essentially raided the Capitol, like they used this app to organize. They've used it to organize multiple things.
But is it the app's fault, the company's fault?
Yeah, of course it's not the company's fault.
I don't like that because then you're hurting another business just because how they chose to use their services.
Of course it's not this app's fault.
I mean, I can use Gmail to plan a terrorist attack. It wouldn't be smart.
They could have used iMessages and done the same thing.
Right.
I don't like that, but I'm just saying.
I think that's Apple taking a really BS political stance on something.
But technically, they can do that.
They can do that, but I think that's wrong.
But that's where the scare comes in. Is that's essentially
the App Store has become a place where
is that
so. I mean, you have the App Store and you have Google Play. That's pretty much it.
Yeah,
where you can post an app and people download it.
I would like to own a major company like that because I wouldn't censor people.
Well, like Apple.
Anything. I just wouldn't censor people, because
I wish
unless you're verbally,
you know
if you're censorship's not cool. Real. I mean, I think that's a pretty great saying. Who came up with that?
I wish there were a YouTube where you could just post things, but the problem is
YouTube censors everything too.
But there's some stuff.
There's certain things that I think it's should that be on the internet, basically? There are certain things that cross a line, you know? So it's hard to have an app or a website where you can just freely put whatever you want onto it.
Right. One of my things is that I don't want to... Cause I know sometimes the people on the internet use it to verbally abuse other people. Like, not just making a joke.
Like cyberbullies.
Like when people really badly cyberbully, on one hand, you could just block them.
I was going to say, hot take on cyberbullying. Just
block them.
Turn your computer off.
Right.
And now you're not being bullied anymore.
Like, I think it's a serious issue, but I think there's
don't be mean to people, because, like, just don't be mean to people.
You're a jerk.
But it's, like, you don't have to be on Instagram. So if you're getting cyberbullied on Instagram, you could take a step back. I don't think that you should have to take a step back. Right. I think it's wrong that they're doing that in the first place. But I'm just saying that you're not entirely the victim of the situation. You're almost victimizing yourself a little bit. I agree with that. Like, I'm not saying that.
But there are things fair. You can do. But it's not fair because you'd have to give something up. But
yeah, I'm not saying it's fair. I'm just saying that.
No worries.
You know.
Yeah.
No, I think TikTok does a very good job of not censoring things. People put some.
I haven't heard about them.
People put some controversial stuff on there, though.
Yeah, people put some crazy jokes and stuff, but I don't think it's anything like threatening.
I've got a lot of videos like favorited where the sound has been removed.
No, yeah, I have that stuff too.
Yeah, you got a lot of like sounds being removed or just videos entirely being removed because of one small thing in it, and TikTok doesn't like that. I think that TikTok used to be way worse at just deleting things that it didn't make sense for them to delete. You know the guy that went viral a couple months ago? I don't remember his name. It was like Donald something. And he posted videos.
De La Haye? Or is it...
it's something like...
The football kicker?
No, he would post duets of videos where it was like... It would be those transition videos where it's a guy and then he does a hair flip transition and he becomes a... And he
transgender things.
Yeah, and so he would post videos like that and he'd be smiling and then he'd go flat-faced. And TikTok deleted his account. They deleted like 3 or 4 of his accounts because people were getting mad and saying it was controversial. And
I just think that's the wrong way to respond to controversy.
Yeah, for sure.
I think if you're just like, we don't like it, get rid of it. Well, that kind of doesn't allow diversity of thought. Not that thought is always good or bad. I'm just saying, like, there has to be... People have to have a thick skin and be able to have a tolerance to something. Just because something's wrong doesn't mean you censor somebody. I think that's the easy answer. It's like, okay, we shouldn't allow this person to even speak in public. We shouldn't allow them. I'm not saying you have to support them or invite them to your event to speak. But if it's a public platform, I think...
private company.
Now, it is a private company. A private company can do what they want. But once again, just because you have the right to do it doesn't mean you're right to do it. I think you know, that's why... Part of the reason why our podcast is called Censorship's Not Cool. I thoroughly believe in free discussion. Now, if it's just like where they're ruining the experience for everybody else because they just are, like, to a degree, like, to just some insane degree, but I don't think anyone reaches that level. If they want to say something controversial, insensitive, however you want to look at it, don't watch the videos. Block them. I don't care. Just, you know, because when we start censoring people, I think it's kind of a slippery slope that could happen. You know, just
it is.
More and more stuff, which is kind of a fallacy. Like, you don't know what's going to happen, but I'm too afraid of that happening.
At a certain point of private companies being freely allowed to just delete people, basically.
Right.
Like, at some point, that's going to become...
But then you can't make a law against it.
A real issue.
That's a whole other freedom of issue.
Yeah.
Like
it's
Congress,
like you're taking away the private company's ability to do something.
Yeah, like a lot of... I think it's kind of funny because Republicans always try to say that they're the conservatives who want small government. Really, they're not. That's like... I really don't think they are sometimes because they're like Ted Cruz and some of those other guys who like have these... And I'm glad they're grilling Zuckerberg because I think he's wrong on what Facebook and YouTube does. Mm-hmm. But it's just like, what law are you going to make?
Who owns YouTube?
You're going to say... Well, Facebook... Oh, my bad. I thought... Never mind. So, not YouTube, but they grill Facebook and the companies that he owns about their censorship and how they... which I think is wrong, how they third-party track people, because technically we're legally liable for agreeing to those things, but because it's such a part of our daily lives now, I think it's wrong for them to take advantage of the typical American consumer. But I guess they have the right to.
Yeah.
But I don't think... Republicans are like, well, what about personal freedoms and stuff? It's like, what about the freedom of that business? That's something that conservatives harp on, so it's a really weird balancing act to play. I personally just wish that the companies would be a little more ethical, but you can't count on big companies to be ethical.
Well, obviously, the censorship of Donald Trump is illegal.
Obviously,
but
yeah.
Is it ethical? Like, is it okay for them to do that?
No, I don't think so.
Why?
Because I don't care.
Like, I'm not saying I think that they are or are not correct. I'm playing devil's advocate a little bit. I'm saying, like, why is it not ethically okay if Donald Trump goes on Twitter and just says heinous things whenever he wants to? Why is it not okay for Twitter to be like, stop saying these things? 44 million people know who you are.
Yeah.
And see everything you say.
Here's how I see it. Okay, so, he's saying controversial things. You're saying, people say controversial things back. Yeah. And then it's really just what Twitter's opinion on the matter, their political stance.
Yeah, and I was about to say, like, that gets troublesome because...
Like, imagine...
Should Twitter's political values matter when it comes to how they... When it comes to their jurisdiction over...
When it comes to their platform, yes. But if we're looking at Twitter as a place for conversation and for people to say stuff, then it's, like, ethically wrong.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the way... social media is the way, like, you that's your freedom of speech, basically, now. If you want to get your opinion out.
If you want to be heard, you use social media. That's true.
Right. So then if that's true and that's how people are using it to make social change or whatever, then that's a two-way street.
Should social media become a right? Because it's become so fundamental. It's become so fundamental in how society works, though. Right. That's where news comes from. That's where all this information people use every day comes from.
Well, then
should you not? Well,
because then you have all kind of other things that are like cars are essential to human life. Roads, but you don't have a right to a road. You don't have a right to a car. You don't have a right to a lot of things that are essential to everyday life that didn't exist before 1800. Stuff like that. Modern amenities that are crucial, you don't have a right to. They're just really important. Importance doesn't mean a right. I see what you're saying, though.
Yeah, because that's the same thing with, like, and we're not going to talk about this, but, like, healthcare people are wondering, like, should that be something that you're allowed, like, that you get to have?
I think healthcare is another level, but still kind of the same thing.
You see what I'm saying? It's in that general ballpark.
It's something you don't have a right to, but you
maybe you should have a right to, but also there's reasons that it shouldn't be a right, and you should work to be able to get that,
Right. I think healthcare is controversial because...
Yeah, super controversial. Like I said,
we're not taking a stance on this today. We're just playing out...
Yeah,
we're just drawing out what different people say about it because healthcare is a lot to get into.
Yes. Yeah.
We have that topic to talk about one day.
Let's go to our next topic.
Yeah, we can go on to the next thing. We've been on Trump for a hot minute.
Yeah, we have. So last thing, really just real quick to close out. Illuminati.
We're talking about the Illuminati a little bit.
Because
it's fun.
There's some people saying that something big is going to happen after the Capitol thing, like something bigger.
That's what I'm saying. People are in Facebook groups.
You've seen people on Facebook?
Facebook groups or just wherever. I saw it on Reddit is actually where I've seen there's some
so this could be wrong.
Forum of like, well, that's true.
It's going to happen.
It was on Reddit.
No, it's going to happen.
I mean, that's
Isaiah's calling it.
I'm pulling for it. I'm joking.
It's everywhere. A lot of people are saying, like, something's about to happen. Just some big world thing's about to occur. And, like, I don't know what it is.
I mean, think about it. It could be a terrorist attack. It could be...
Well, we talk about the Illuminati because...
I know a bunch of people saying it's a natural forest fire, but really it was just people in Australia.
A tsunami happens, but actually there's something built underground that can cause a tremor.
That's like some sci-fi movie stuff.
Causes the earthquake, causes the tsunami.
There's no way that
takes down...
do that yet. Huh? There's no way we can't control the weather somehow yet.
We just don't know about it.
Yeah, exactly.
We actually have satellites in the sky. Like, there's a movie where they have satellites in the sky that can control the weather.
Cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
That's not what I'm talking about. But imagine that.
Geostorm?
That's what I'm talking about.
Geostorm. Imagine they change our weather.
Mm-hmm.
Or the aliens have went up into the sky, made these devices, change our weather. Tsunamis are going everywhere. Somehow a meteor hits the Earth ends, we're all gone.
Well, a meteor's not really weather. That's kind of...
They bring the meteor to us.
It's scary stuff. Okay, here's what I think about the Illuminati. I don't think it's real. I think it's a front for the real secret organization. I'm completely convinced there's a secret society with Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise, some Tom and Jerry, and some other people.
Do you know who Alex Jones is? Crazy guy, frogs are gay.
From Infowars?
I don't know.
He was the guy who was like, that's Infowars. Okay, he was talking at the rallies before the Capitol thing.
I've just seen him on Joe Rogan, and the reason I brought him up is because he and somebody else went to some forest in LA, and they have video of just all these like famous people huddled around this effigy thing, and they're just like praying to it. Like,
no, I believe there's real some people in Hollywood people in power.
Like, they're, I mean, obviously, but
no, I mean that doesn't surprise me.
That's why we're starting our podcast. Join the Illuminati.
Join the Illuminati.
It's fake. It's really covered for like, the Darkinati.
How big do we have to
get? What they want you to believe
before they contact us? Like, how large do we have to become before the Illuminati knows?
The Illuminati is think about it. You become less powerful when people know about you. Then there's something to attack. When you think about that, you become less powerful.
So you think that
people can attack you that way?
The conspiracy is that Michael Jackson was killed by the Illuminati.
I believe
so was Whitney Houston or whatever. All those people that die in their bathroom have been killed by the Illuminati.
Imagine they just let the Illuminati know.
That's what I'm saying. It's
but they were people of power.
I don't want to.
Just look, but I'll be honest. We've seen the Michael Jackson transformation. He probably did drive drugs. I mean, let's be honest. This man used to be black.
The Illuminati made him do it.
The Illuminati is real in a way.
I think the concept is there. I just don't think it's actually the Illuminati.
Yeah,
but imagine you. I
wouldn't be surprised if Tupac. I wouldn't be surprised if Tupac was still alive.
Hitler is alive.
Oh.
He was alive and he died in the 80s.
No, imagine this. They made a medicine that can keep you alive for longer, but they just say you die and you go away into the secret Illuminati group. It's really like in Australia where there's like a small section where nobody lives.
Yeah, because nobody's in Australia.
There's like a certain section.
Oh, okay.
Greenland.
They
killed off Greenland.
They killed about how Greenland's icy. Greenland's icy and Iceland's green.
I think we should.
They mixed up the names.
It's not completely true. Iceland gets a lot of ice.
We should get rid of both.
Still, but
I don't like either of them. I'm just.
Watch out for the Illuminati.
I imagine you I feel like there's some secret.
Or don't.
There's like a secret building somewhere.
It's up to you.
There's some secret building somewhere that they'd meet at. Secretly.
I think that it's like the Justice League and they just teleport to space.
I actually think
it sounds just like that too.
I think it's in a bigger city.
Hey, word of the day.
I think I don't like that. I think it's.
I like it. Me and Luke like it.
It's not even a word, but I actually think it's in a big section that you wouldn't expect to search for.
So
it's right in the Mall of America.
They're they have cops. They have cops, fake cops on it and stuff. Have them in there so they won't search for them.
Yeah,
absolutely,
for sure.
You ever seen the Stranger Things season where the Russian people were at the bottom of the mall? Same thing.
Oh yeah,
no talks. I think they have.
Hollywood sends us signs.
We didn't get Stranger Things last year. We didn't get a lot of shows last year because
But think of this. I think it's in a city not New York. New York's too big to have it,
and it's too obvious.
Maybe
it's too obvious though. Cause
that's why they would put it there.
You immediately.
There's so much stuff there. Where do you look?
Okay, look. Here's what I think.
What if it's under it?
What's a beat down city? Chicago, Philadelphia,
Detroit.
Illinois.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Did you say Illinois is a separate city?
My bad. I didn't mean to say that.
Illinois is a beat up city.
I didn't mean to say that. I was thinking Chicago, Illinois. That's what I was.
Yeah.
Okay, Chicago, Detroit, Philadelphia,
Mexico,
Oakland.
All of Mexico except for Cabo.
I think think about those cities right there. They're beat down cities. You don't want to go to a beat down city. Philadelphia has some places.
That was a joke, by the way. That was a joke. Mexico's probably fine. We've never been to Mexico.
Okay,
I just don't want. The cartel.
I don't want.
My buddy Alex, who's from Mexico, and he goes down and visit his family.
Dude,
he's telling me about some witches and stuff down there, dude.
All
right, whatever.
Okay.
He'd go
maybe Mexico's terrible. I don't care.
No, Mexico. It depends. I'm just messing.
I think it's in a place like Detroit. Ford Motor Company is involved with it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. This is all
true. Okay,
based on nothing, by the way.
Okay, but listen. So let's say there's a building down there. They have the cops in on it. So the cops are part of the Illuminati. They just say nothing's going on there. They report that nothing's going on there. Okay, and then they kill off people that go to search them. Okay. And they just say they disappeared. They fell into a lake. There's a frozen body. It's actually a fake body. It's not their real body. Or it is. Who knows?
Fair enough.
They just put them in lakes and stuff like that. And imagine this. So they're all in the building, and they meet all the time, but they meet secretly with underground tunnels.
Isaiah has solved everything.
He figured it out.
Good job.
We did it. And what you said it was in Detroit. Do you know
Maybe.
where exactly?
I think it is in
It's
Detroit
under
is
the
an
Ford.
example.
It's under the Ford Motor Company.
It's almost,
in comedic irony, they took over one of Henry Ford, an old racist. They took one of his facilities and made it into something
think about
different.
it, Thomas.
It's not racist.
I'm not gonna say specifically Detroit. It's in a city.
With that kind of vibe.
It's in a bad part of a big city.
But if it's a bunch of celebrities going there, I think it's somewhere nice where they can get away with it.
Famous
Illuminati.
people.
Well, this would be like
The
secret society of the world.
And the celebrities are just like their pawns.
No, the famous people don't actually go to the meet. They just receive word for the people.
They've been doing Zoom calls.
the old
That's why it
famous-
becomes. They've been using Skype because no one uses it anymore.
It's Tupac. Those type of people. The people that died.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson.
Biggie's skinny and in shape now.
That's true. I never saw Michael Jackson's dead body. So.
Think about it.
Hitler. What they would have paraded his body everywhere. Think about it.
No, they're all.
Good point.
All the people that are dead, but they're not really meet underground, or like meet, and they just tell the other famous people what to do.
Yeah, but like for what?
I don't know what their
I was like, we gotta. I mean, because
derogative is.
For what?
But like.
They said derogative?
My bad. I
You mean
didn't say-
prerogative?
That's what I meant. Okay,
Alright.
listen.
it's okay.
Just flip the letter upside
Prerogative
down.
is the word of the day, just cause we don't have one yet, and it sounds pretty good.
It's still. Doom.
I don't think that's a word.
Prerogative.
Doom.
I think
It's DYOOOM. Doom.
the celebrities,
Right.
Thomas,
Yeah.
have a problem with not they're power consumed.
Yeah,
Okay,
you think?
so
Yeah.
they're power consumed. So all they want to do is get more of it. So that's what they're in a secret society, so they can control the world
Yeah, but for what?
to have power.
Tom
Yeah,
Hanks
but
can make
for
another
what?
Forrest Gump movie.
Are they gonna change the world, or do they just want to control it and let it continue in the exact same way?
Yeah,
Oh,
by
it's
controlling
it's just to get power for themselves secretly. It's not like ever gonna be like world domination. It's just like
no.
to keep getting. They're
They're gonna lead
just
to
keep
that.
getting stuff.
They're gonna lead
Yeah,
to
but-
world domination.
No, because then someone's gonna rise up and beat them. You can't
That's
dominate
true.
the world.
That's
It's
true.
too big.
That's fair.
All right, just to clarify, it was a joke about Mexico. If you have a problem with that, like we said, you can block us.
There's a button for that.
My buddy also,
Or
whose family is in
subscribe.
Mexico, said Mexico's pretty cool.
Or subscribe.
They're big on personal freedom. You can buy alcohol at whatever age.
I agree with that.
Well, it's basically like Europe,
I do
but in
too.
Mexico.
I wouldn't drink it, but I think you should have the right to do it.
Yeah,
I agree.
All right,
Not
Cool.
like 9 years old,
Hey.
but like
No,
okay, that's fine.
Okay.
out the womb, alcohol.
That's a good way to end.
It's cleaning.
That's a perfect way.
All right, it cleans. It keeps your
Yeah, it
insides
cleans the
on
baby's
track.
insides.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give your baby alcohol. That's just stupid. Wait till they're 5. All right, this has been CNC Podcast. We hope you've enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy something, I mean that's tough. I'm sorry about that.
This video is gonna come out in 2 days.
2 days. It's gonna be absolute fire. Fire.
Oh, this was a weird one.
This was a weird one.
No, I think we got talking about
I
a lot
went
of
through
cool
some
topics.
weird things in my
He
head.
theorized. He based
You thought about
the
that too,
entire
some of it's too
Illuminati
much.
based on nothing. He created an entire
Hey,
If,
or
if,
is
if,
it on
organization
if this
based on
video
nothing?
doesn't get out, or
Yes,
one of
it's
us
based on-
die, you know we hit something right. You know there was some nail we hit on the head.
And YouTube cancels us because they are actually part of it.
They said, "Oh man, these guys are right." Cancel them. They try to align us with like some alt-right conservatives to discredit us.
Yeah.
All right,
All our
this has been
45
CNC
subscribers.
Podcast. Hope you've enjoyed it. Leave a like, subscribe, post notifications, tell your friends. We appreciate it. Let's get those views up. Let's hope you like what we're talking about.
I hate
This
that.
always.
Stop begging for
Fine.
views. Get out
I
of
don't
here.
care. I don't care if you
I was
watch
just saying to watch it because I think people need to hear what we need to say, and you can't censor me about it. This has been
This is the
Thomas
most fever dream outro
Luke,
we've ever done.
and Isaiah. Stop.
Isaiah.
That's it. Cut. We're done.
Don't cut yet. Now cut.